Hey, what's up you guys? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I make videos about digital planning and ways to get creative with your iPad. So if that sounds like something that's of interest to you, feel free to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so that you get notified anytime I put out a new video. That all being said, today's video is going to be my weekly setup for the month of August, and I am so excited to do this. If you missed my monthly setup, this is what it looks like. I am absolutely in love with it. And I will link to that video up here in the corner just in case you want to see how I created this. But moving on to this week, let's go ahead and get started. I want to preface this by saying that for the first 2.5 weeks of August, I will be in Belgium. So that's where I'm currently at. And I'm mostly just going to be spending time showing my friend this beautiful country. And so I think a lot of what's going to be on here is going to be more like travel itinerary as opposed to my typical to-dos. And I am really excited to be kind of approaching this from a different direction than usual. So now that that's out of the way, what I'm going to do is just start by covering all of this up. So if you've watched my videos before, you are familiar with this. I'm going to grab an element, and I already have this element saved that I can just size up, and it blocks out everything except for my calendars, which is perfect. So now that that's out of the way, what I'm going to do is start with this corner because I know exactly what I want here. I am going to be using which colors? Let's go with the Barbie ones. Yes, okay. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab this pink and aqua, and I am just going to paste this, grab my image tool, and I'm gonna spread this out for the whole thing here. And I want this to kind of be a place for me to list literally everything that I want to do or show my friend during the week. And then I'll take the ideas from here and I will arrange them into the weekly itinerary. So I hope that makes sense. So in order to do that, I want a ton of bullet points here, which of course you could just draw in if you would like. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of hack this a little bit by coming to my sticker pack, and I'm going to take this square grid, I think in the purple, just because it'll be easiest to see. And I'm going to paste this here, and I'm just going to size it up. And once I'm happy with the spacing, ooh, that is so cute. I really love this grid effect. I feel like there are so many things that you could do with it, but I'm gonna refrain. I'm gonna just go with my original idea. But this is so fun. I vote you guys layer as much as you want. I think this is great. So I'm gonna come back to my stickers here, and I'm going to grab, of course, this dark one, and I think the purple. So we're gonna do this dark circle and that purple circle. And I'm just gonna copy these, and I realize I have a ton of extra, but that's okay. So I'm just going to paste these here, and I'm going to just delete all the ones that I just don't need. In the end, I just want the 2 circles. So that's what I have. And if I zoom in here, I can layer these. And then I'm just going to resize these and make them bigger. And since they're circles, it doesn't really matter if they go a little bit sideways. And you can play around with the distance that you want these apart. So that's totally up to you how big you want that drop shadow to be. It's easier to do this with the image tool because then you can easily work in those layers. Well, and in hindsight, maybe I should have done this in a different color, but that's okay. Now I'm going to grab these 2 together, and I'm going to resize them again, and I'm just gonna fit them inside of the grid. And I think that's good, so I'm just gonna bring it away from that for a second before I tap off. And now I'm going to copy it at that size. And I'm gonna move this over here. And this will kind of give me a visual of where I wanna put these. So I think I might actually make this just a little smaller. So that should be pretty good. So I'm gonna move it back over, and then just copy it again at this size. The reason I'm doing that is so that when I paste it, everything is the consistent size and it's the size that I want it to be. So I'm just gonna start placing them over to the edge here. Not quite over the ombre just yet, but I will get there. And just paste away. The nice thing is you can use this grid if you want in order to like skip spaces or just kind of get it like as far apart as you want. I like to use grids like this as a guide. I think they're super helpful. All right, we'll add this last one in here. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm just going to delete this grid. And now these are perfectly in line and I can just lasso over them and bring them to the edge here. Now in my white ball pen, in the medium size, I'm gonna bring it up to, let's see, I think 0.75 is good. I'm just going to first draw some straight lines, and these are going to be my guides, and I make sure to extend the lines all the way over to the edge here so that I can easily just take my lasso tool with the handwriting on and I can move them and I can delete them later, no problem. And then in here, I'm just going to write must do. And then I'm going to turn on my eraser on stroke eraser and I'm just going to erase those two lines. I'm just going to change my lasso tool to handwriting only and I'm just going to center this. Now I gotta say that I'm not totally in love with that. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back to my stickers with my lasso tool and images turned on. I'm just going to grab this rectangle. I'm going to copy these and paste them. And we're going to rotate them this way, erase what's in the center there. Kind of layer these similar to how I did the circle. And I'm just going to resize this. It's a little bit crooked, so I'm going to grab my image tool and I'm just going to straighten these out a little bit. And I might move it over just a tiny bit. And I think I want it to be just a little more narrow, so I'm going to shrink it down a little and move it up and do the same with this one. It won't be perfect, but I think it'll be close enough. And I think that that works. So now I'm just gonna come back to my lasso tool and turn off images, but keep handwriting on. And I'm gonna select the handwriting that's under here. I'm gonna cut it and we are going to paste it and then just size it to fit in here. And I think that that brings it all together a lot better. So this is where I'm going to put my list of all the sites and things that I want to show her during the week. Another thing I know I want to do is I want to take this rectangle here. I'm going to copy it. And I'm going to paste it here. And we're just going to size it to match the width of the days of the week here, that part of the calendar. And then I'm going to come back to my sticker set, come to August, copy this. I love the neon. I think it's so cute. We're going to paste it here and then just size it to fit in there. So the next thing I want to do is I want to take this gray color again. So I'm going to grab my image tool and I'm just going to copy this. I'm going to paste it again. And then I'm just going to grab my image tool here and tap on this. And I'm going to crop out any potentially fuzzy edges. So just because we're sizing it up so big, I'm just going to crop it like that and hit done. And now we have this nice crisp shape. And I am going to fill all of this here. And it's okay if it ends up a little bit taller because I'm going to end up using another one of these for that border. So I just want to make sure that I'm really happy with the width of it, which I am. I like that. And you can either paste what you had again and crop it, or you can copy this one and paste it. But we'll grab our image tool and just size this so it comes out nicely, matches the edges. And we're going to make it smaller. And once we're happy with that, we can just tap off. Now, of course, we do have to include August on here somewhere. So I'm just going to zoom in here with my image tool, just tap on this, copy it, paste it. And I'm just going to size it up and make it pretty big here. And I think I'm going to put it at an angle like this. I think that looks nice, actually. Next, we'll come back to our sticker pack. I'm going to grab the yellow since we don't have any yellow. I'm going to copy this, paste it here. And I'm just going to layer these. So I'm going to copy another one, paste it. And then I'm actually going to cut the neon here and paste it on top. And I'm going to make it a little bit bigger so that it just kind of covers up that edge there where these join together. Just help it blend a little more seamlessly. I'm going to come back to my sticker pack and I am going to grab probably these two colors. And I'm just going to turn on images and I'm going to select these ones and copy them and then paste them, and I'm going to size them up. And then I'm going to take my image tool here and I'm just going to kind of make them more of this shape, less tall. And then if you find that you just don't like the way that the edges are getting to be maybe just a little bit too wide, you can come in here and you can crop those. So you can just kind of bring the edges in a little bit and make them thinner. This way when you size it out, it's not so obvious that it's being stretched sideways. But that's totally up to you. For me, I prefer that, so that's what I'm gonna do. All right, and I'm going to once again cut this August part here and paste it on top. And once you have pictures in here and that grid is not showing through, I think having this background is going to just add a lot more. It's gonna look a lot nicer. So to kind of finish things off here, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come to my sticker pack and I'm going to grab all of these circles. And I did something similar to this in the monthly setup. So I'm just gonna copy these, come back and paste. And I'm going to erase all these other shapes. We don't really need them. Or at least maybe I'll just move them apart. Maybe I want to use them up here somewhere. I'm not sure yet. But we're just gonna move them away. And, oh no, I forgot this blue. Let's see. I'm going to need 7 of these, so I'm just gonna copy and paste. We have an extra, so I'm just gonna delete that. And then I'm just going to cut these ones so that they can be on top of those. Paste. Let's paste one more time. And I'm going to erase the yellow, I think. All right, so now I'm just kind of grouping these together just to make everything a little bit easier. And I'm just going to resize these at once. And I want them to like fully cover the shape that's here. I'm gonna get rid of these. If I want them later, I will just go get them. Okay, and I'm just gonna resize these all together. And it's okay if they rotate because they're circles. And I just want this to fully cover that shape and then give myself a little extra room. So they're gonna be a little bit bigger. But the reason I'm doing that is then in the other weeks when I want to add in the numbers, I can make sure that they are the size of this, and that means that they'll fit inside of these. So I hope that that makes sense. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to layer these. And I want them to kind of match, you know, I'm going for matching. So just try your best to get the drop shadow to be similar, but I don't think anyone will notice if it's not perfect. And I'll just kind of put these into place. I feel like that looks really good. I like that a lot. So then obviously if you've watched my videos before, you know, another one of my favorite things to do is to put my little ombre effect here. So of course I will leave a link to just download one that's already done for you that already fits this planner. But if you have Procreate and want to do it yourself, I will link up in the cards as well another video that I showed you how to do this in. But of course you can take the easy way out and just download the image yourself and import it just like you would any other sticker. So let's see, which ombre effect do I want to use? I'm thinking this one. So I'm just going to copy this. Paste. Allow paste. Size this. Clip it. Copy all. Come back to my planner and paste this in here. Size it in there to fit. I'm going to grab this element. I'm going to cut it I'm gonna wait a second for now, and I'm just gonna come to any random month that I've already done this for. And I'm just going to turn on text boxes only, grab those text boxes, come to this week, paste, put this into place, come back to my elements, add this beautiful one on top. And the unfortunate thing is that I can see these colors are kind of blending together. So what I might do is just kind of rearrange these. So I might put this blue one here and the pink one in the middle. And I also want to make sure that I have text boxes turned on as well as images. And I'm just going to select the ombre and these circles and all of the text that's here, being careful not to grab any of this element here. And we are just going to also add this one as an element to my August folder. So now I'm going to come in and just add in those dates. So I'll just select all of these and I'm going to copy them. So I'm just going to come back here and I'm going to delete most of what we had just selected. And I'm just doing this in a couple different tries because I don't want to accidentally grab anything that I don't want to delete. We're just going to paste these. And this is why we needed to delete instead of cut the other elements, because then it would have removed this from the memory there. And I'm just going to go through and delete a bunch of these ones that we don't need. And I'm not being super specific about it, but I just wanted to have room so I could select all of these and resize the ones I needed all at once. And it can be the same size as the circle, but you definitely don't want it to be bigger. And you could even make it a little bit smaller if you want. Totally up to you. I know that we started with the purple, so I'm just going to delete the rest of these. Pink, teal, yellow, purple, pink, teal. Okay, so now that those are in place, I can select these. I can cut them. I also know that I don't need this one, so I can just grab my image tool and close out of that one. And I'll come back to my elements and I'll just paste this layer, put it in place. And now I can paste the numbers that I just sized, put them over here. And it should line up pretty seamlessly, but if you have some issues, you can just kind of go in and adjust them more carefully with the image tool. But there you go. And that's why we save that part as an element as well. It makes things a lot easier for us further down the road. And if you notice that these portraits are layered underneath at this point, it really doesn't matter all that much because once you go and add in your photos and then relayer this element back on top of those photos, then it'll be on top of everything. This is definitely a bit more of an advanced video, I would say. So hopefully if you're watching this, you have seen quite a few of my Goodnotes tutorials at this point, and then I don't think much of this will be lost on you. But I could see how if you're a beginner, this might feel really overwhelming. So in that case, I encourage you to go back and watch some of my older videos, which I break things down a little bit more simply and try not to overcomplicate anything. But I also want to grow with my audience. So a lot of you have done many of these techniques with me in the past. And so this is why every now and again, I will do something that is a little bit more complicated for others to follow along with. Now, the last thing that I really want to do here is just kind of spice this up a little bit. So whether that's adding some shapes up here or some, roller skates or something just to make it fun. That's really what I'm going to be doing. So I think I'll just time lapse this part, and if there is anything important that I need to stop and share with you, I'll do so. But otherwise, you can sit back, relax, and just kind of enjoy. Okay, I think that's it. I think that's my stopping point. I I'm in love with these stickers. I think no matter what you do with them, they are going to be so incredibly gorgeous. Like I said, I'll be sure to leave a link to download this weekly template if you would prefer to use that instead of designing it on your own. And I know there's a lot going on here, but I feel like it is just so much fun. I am really, really in love with this. Anyway, that is where I'm going to stop. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. As always, I appreciate you so, so, so much. You're the best. And if I did go too fast in any of these areas and you would like some clarification, feel free to ask in the comments. I'm always really good about responding and trying my best to help you guys out. So that being said, thanks again, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!